The 23rd Annual State of the Region Address brought tough topics to Torrance.
It's always good for us to be educated and to be able to make up our own minds, both as business leaders and residents here in the South Bay.
Congressional Representatives Maxine Waters and Lieu shared their latest updates with the public. Both started by acknowledging the recent wildfires.
I want to take a moment to send first my deepest condolence to anyone who has been directly impacted by the recent wildfires or has family or friends who were directly impacted. I've been working around the clock to ensure that individuals, households, and small businesses get the resources and assistance they need to quickly rebuild and recover.
When you talk to the first responders, what they'll say is there were three primary causes of this. The first were Santa Ana winds that reach up to 100 miles per hour. You also had very low relative humidity, and you had some of the driest conditions in Southern California history. Their first three objectives that they told me were lives, lives, and lives. So they were simply trying to evacuate people. One of my staff members lost her home, and she is staffing me here today, and that's Janet Turner. So thank you, Janet.
The representatives went on to speak about current changes and challenges with new administration in Washington, D.C.
Today we heard the congressional representatives talk about tariffs. We heard them talk about AI. It was very important for them to be able to come and hear firsthand what is going on.
They also touched on longtime issues that affect our community.
It has always been my strong belief that everyone has a right to safe and affordable housing. Unfortunately, right now, we're witnessing one of the worst housing and homelessness crises in our nation's history. Federal data shows that homelessness surged by 18% last year. Today, over 770,000 people are homeless across the county, and more renters and homeowners than ever before are paying well over 30 and even 50% of their paychecks on housing.
You may have seen that China came out with an AI platform called DeepSeek. It freaked a lot of people out once it came out because folks are like, whoa, this is pretty good. This is like about as good as all the American AI platforms out there. You have now a program called Operator that OpenAI has put out that basically it'll start doing stuff for you. 1, 2, 3 years from now, you're gonna have essentially this AI agent, like your personal assistant, that you can tell it to go do all sorts of things for you in the world. They've hit PhD level expertise in a number of subjects. So just sort of consider, well, what happens when you give an economy 100 million PhDs?
Lieu and Waters shared projects that they've secured funding for in our region.
On the past 2 years, I've worked with my colleagues to secure funding for a wide range of infrastructure, $8 million for the Torrance Transit, and more than $9 million for water infrastructure projects in Torrance, Inglewood, Gardena, and Lomita.
Last year, I fought for and secured $1.1 million to the City of Torrance for body-worn camera and software funding, $850,000 for the Columbia Park Water Conservation Project.
They also reaffirmed their gratitude for the chamber and pride for the city.
Right here in Torrance, have one of the best education systems in the country, and they send the largest number of students to college of any schools in the country. Give them a big round of applause.
I want to thank the City of Torrance, your elected officials and your staff. You have one of the most well-run cities. That's why Betty and I choose to live in Torrance.
To learn more about local business news, visit torranceca.gov/ytorrance. I'm Nicole Nash with the City of Torrance.